If you ever write a romantic drama, never name one of your leads Jamie. Why? Because I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you, okay? I can't. Welcome back to The Rosy Romantic. I'm Bree, and today we're going to talk about my Oxford year. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Also, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. So grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and let's chat. And just to let you know, there will be spoilers throughout this video. So let's jump right in. This film knew exactly what it was doing because it brought up my two favorite things, books and cake. Okay, you can't get much better than that. Right here, we have a delicious lemon cake made from my mom. It was from my brother's birthday. Okay, shout out to my brother. Happy birthday. And it has like a lemon filling. It's delicious. I would offer you guys some, but I'm sorry, I'm having this for myself. Anyway, we also have some tea, okay? Because this is all about Oxford and the British atmosphere, okay? So I also have in some tea. It's the Yorkshire Gold. I remember an interview, I think it was with Corey, India, and Arsema from Queen Charlotte interviews, and they talked about this. And I was like, you know what? I'm trying it out. It's delicious. I put milk and honey in it. And no, I did not heat it up in the microwave, okay?
You were all thinking it.
Not that there's anything wrong with putting it in the microwave. Okay, sometimes I do that. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest because what if if it's taking up too much time, okay? But if I have the time, I will make the time to make the tea right. Okay, but I'm getting distracted. But you see how we're setting up the atmosphere, and that's what it does so well in this film. It's so warm and rich in all of these like relationships and the feeling of the movie.
Can you estimate the value of everything that was taken?
Emotionally, $700 million.
So we're going to talk about the 3 acts of the film at which the movie was truly shining, and then what parts of the movie that they needed to improve on a little bit. Corey as Jamie is so charming. Even though this man is hiding from another woman, he's seen talking with another woman and like flirting with Anna's character, that we were like, we're instantly charmed, and that's what I love. I love what he brings to this role. And then Anna is very confident and sure of herself, and she's not taking any mess. We love to see it. So of course we have the story beat that she does not know he's going to be her future professor. She goes to the class where she's been wanting to be at Oxford her entire life, and she's very excited to see the professor that's going to be teaching this class. And then her professor is Professor Stein. She's like, hey guys, I got a promotion and I'm not gonna be teaching y'all, so you get Professor Jamie, like Professor Davenport. He's gonna teach the class because I'm out of here. I'm going to be the department head. No, I'm not doing it. I'm like, she is so blunt. I thought it was just going to be, hello all, I'm sadly not teaching this class even though I really wanted to. She's just like, no, I don't want to. Bye y'all. But I think that was for Jamie to enter the class and is very grateful to be there and wants to teach these students here. And then he's like, oh snap, is that the same girl from the chips and fish shop? That's not a really good first impression, but it's okay. Jane Austen knows all about first impressions. Get it? Get it? Okay. Anyway, I know it's corny.
It's a bit camp, but we'll go with it.
Anyway, this is how Jamie and Anna formally meet. And Jamie's like, okay, I am Professor Davenport. He's also trying to talk to the other students around. And it's very nerve-wracking to be up there and trying to lead this class. But in order to win everybody over, what do? You bring cake. This was a great idea. I was like, man, yeah, I would be like, okay, I know this is not the professor, in the class I signed up for, but you know what? He brought cake. There's points for him. But Anna doesn't seem that way. She's just like, oh, he was rude and I'm not gonna eat that cake. I'm like, girl, I mean, like, no. If there's cake there, it's free. Yeah, I'm gonna have it.
And you know that's right.
But he brings up something really special about poetry. He says, poetry can be taught, but it really should be tried. And this is something that I knew the film was going to bookend on, where you start something with the beginning and end it at the end. I was like, they are really being intentional about this scene and the way they're framing it, and how Corey is playing Jamie, and how Anna and how Sophia is playing Anna. Like, this is very important and crucial to the film. This is all going to be about this journey that we're going to be on with Anna and Jamie. So Anna is attending Oxford for a year because she wants to study Victorian poetry before she starts her job at Goldman Sachs. Meanwhile, we see Jamie and his background of being a professor, and you know, how he loves poetry and maybe why he's so connected to it. And then we see his father, played by Dougray Scott. Homeboy from Ever After and Mission Impossible 2, Dougray Scott. I wanted so badly that his mother was going to be played by Drew Barrymore. If it was me, I would have called up Drew Barrymore and asked her for a special favor. I've been like, okay, do you want to be in this movie for an Ever After reunion, mini reunion with Dougray Scott, and that you play Jamie's mother? Because I think she would have done a great job at this.
And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
But we see Dougray Scott's character of Mr. Davenport leave Jamie's office, and he's furious. He is upset. We had already heard them yelling and things. We're like, okay, I guess they've been fighting about something, but we don't know what. And Anna's there going like, I'm just here for tutorial hours, office hours. I don't know what's going on. So she sees Jamie, and they don't talk about it just yet. But they decide, you know what, we should start over. You know, I'm Jamie, you know, I'm Anna, let's start this whole thing over. And they realize they connect over poetry and how much they love it. So following that office hour, Anna and her friends take her to a pub. And at that pub, Anna runs into a jerk, and she's like, you know what, I'm not here for this, you know, I'm out. And then we see Jamie follow her. So that way we get the scene of them. I said I called it Our Night at Oxford, and this is very sweet. They're, you know, run to go get some food. They're connecting.
There is no way for me to express my joy except by telling you the width of my smile. I can't read it. Somebody else read it.
This is also a special part in the movie because it brings up this motif through the song Yellow by Coldplay. And here's why. Anna decides to sign up Jamie for karaoke, and she's trying to get him out of his comfort zone, and she wants to see this, you know, different side of Jamie. Corey, of course, does this excellent job of being really honest and true, of being up there, being a little bit shy, being nervous, allowing himself to be vulnerable in front of Anna. Look at the stars, look how they shine for you. But the specific song she chooses is called Yellow. And yellow is supposed to, you know, resemble optimism and yet caution. So Anna's character is very much an optimist, and that is what Jamie has, you know, always said to her. Like, he's like, you're very optimistic, and he is more of like a realist. But Jamie's like, okay, you know, this has been a lovely evening, but I don't want to take it any further. Anna is very offended by that. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, also because he's a professor, like, I'm like, should we, like, at Oxford, do we really want, you know, that interaction? I don't know. But I can see from Anna's point of view, she's like, he's been with so many women, why is he turning me down? And of course we have that story beat of her trying to make him jealous and him trying to make her jealous. But at the end of the day, they find themselves at this beautiful library because Jamie's like, you know what, I'm not Jamie. Jamie? Yes. Jamie is like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want you to make you feel that way. So they go to this beautiful library.
As I live and breathe.
But this is how it starts out for the second act of the film, because you had their kissing in the rain. It's very romantic and dramatic. And I wish this is the part which catapulted the film, but this is where it gets a little bit stagnant, because we have this wonderful montage, but the montage goes on for a little bit long. And it's the same song. Like, I just wish they had, you know, some scenes in there where we, I guess, I don't know, maybe we show Jamie making the cake that, you know, that was presented there. Maybe he lied and said that, you know, so-and-so made the cake. Maybe he made it, and maybe he was showing her how to make it. And that would, you know, be very nice to the book end of the movie with that quote and with the cake. You know, things like that, like little small scenes so that we break away from a little bit from the montage. But I will say, there's this one scene in the montage where I was like, cornmeal creased. The actor that you are, because they're at this New Year's Eve party. And he's walking in his like really handsome tux and stuff. And you have Anna over there, and she's talking. She's like, oh, hey. She has, you know, this pretty dress. So he's walking. And then he has his hand brush the small of her back. He walks away, and then he turns around. So smooth. I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know if that was in the book or not, but that was amazing.
People will talk.
I couldn't stop smiling. I had to go back and rewatch it. I was like, that brother's smooth. I was like, yes. So was the montage a little long? Yes. But was it worth it for that scene? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't.
What's happening?
Now this part in Act 2 was a little bit shaky, because this is the part in the film that turns like everything around, and this is where you want to see what's really going on. And they kind of like talk around it. Jamie finally invites Anna to his house, which that's already, you know, some themes coming up there, but about like, why is he always at her place? Like, that's kind of weird. And they're trying to convince us that Jamie is cheating. You're like, I know he's been with a lot of women, but I'm like, do we have to bring up like a cheating narrative? I think that's played. Y'all, I think the cheating narrative is played. And if you're watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can understand how she was thinking about it, but I was like, why are we setting it up like this? Because we do have Jamie reveal that sadly he lost his brother, and that has created distance between him and his father. And they talk really quickly about it, and they mention that they really bonded over building model cars with their father. And then that's it. It's very quick. And then, you know, Anna and Jamie, you know, get together. And then the very next day, you see Jamie is very different. It's kind of a little standoffish. He's not saying a whole lot. And this is a thing in the film where you need to convey something is up and something is wrong.
Man, that is heavy.
Hey Nick, that's something we should talk about.
I think they could have gotten really up close shots to Corey, because he was doing really something there of like this like distance that he was you know, portraying through the character. And if you could, you know, really get really up close to his face, then you can see that, you know, through his eyes, through his, you know, expressions and everything. And then the text that he got, because you were like, you know, maybe what was about, you know, this moment that was, you know, so different. Maybe he could have said that, you know, I got a message from my father, and realizing now they have had some distance, that you're like, okay, that's what creates this kind of like distance that we're getting. But it feels very odd. It feels very weird. And I think that's, the only things that I would improve there is the way they shot that. Because then later on, she's like, oh, are you gonna go to the boat race? And he's like, oh, I'm not, gonna make it. And then she starts getting concerned and worried because she had seen Jamie with Cecilia. And I'm like, I just don't, after Cecilia, I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this, the probably cheating narrative?
Yup.
We could have done it like this. Let's say that Laura, that works on the library stock there, told Anna that she's like, man, there's some overdue books that Jamie has, and that's not like him. And then Anna's like, yeah, maybe I should, go check up on him because he's been working on his, doctoral thesis, and he's kind of been a little bit distant lately. I've been trying to give him some space, but we kind of see her, being disappointed in him not, attending maybe dinners or, special events and just like the boat race and things. And when she goes to retrieve the books at his apartment, this is when, she sees what's happening. That kind of creates a little bit more of you're in your everyday, and then all of a sudden things change. And that's where the thing of life hits so hard. And that's where I feel like the film could have progressed more than try to take, what you think he's cheating. We see then later on Jamie apologize to Anna and explain to her all what was going on. This part I did like, but then it kind of hindered the film a little bit. I wish that we had time with Jamie and his reaction. We saw that him saying, get out to Anna, but this is, I feel like, time we could have spent with Jamie and seeing, his point of view and things. Maybe we could have had a flashback of him and his brother, like maybe he's reading something and it makes him think about, a certain moment or the car, something like that, so we can see where he's coming from, and then we can get their reunitement of Anna and of Jamie. And that moment feels a little bit more earned when she's saying about the messiest points in life that she wants to fight, be with them, be in this relationship. But that scene is beautiful and special. But since they're talking about life to the fullest, then she really wants to go to this ball that they have at Oxford. And so Jamie's like, well, it's not my favorite thing to do, but it could be fun with you and your friends. Now we see Anna wear the yellow dress. So that motif coming up again about optimism and how Anna wants to see all the best parts of life and spend time with as much time with Jamie as she can. After all the party festivities, we see Jamie and Anna, and they're having a very sweet moment together. But then sadly that Jamie passes out. He goes to the hospital, and Anna's trying to reckon with this is very scary, and you're just going through it emotionally. So now the film is starting to feel really sad, and then Charlie kind of brings some levity to it. And in the midst of talking about these very sad and melancholy things, that he's not trying to make light of it, but to see all the joy and the sorrow in life, and there's one moment where you're crying and the next moment you're laughing, and that is the beautiful complexity of life. And that's where in that moment I was like, the movie is shining right there. That is one of the moments that felt the most real and tangible to me throughout the film. Now on to Act 3. Act 3, we have Anna's birthday. So we're having more cake, everybody. Happy birthday to Anna. So we get up to the house, and she has a yellow scarf. See the motif again, and I do again like that addition because they're really paying attention to the essence of the character. Now, if that's in the book, that's great. If it's not, I like that added detail in there, but I haven't read it yet. Maybe I should read it. Let me know in the comments down below if I should read this. Finally, Jamie and his father have the scene in the wine cellar. where he just wants to talk to him because he's like, you've been so distant and I want to talk to you, and he's been wanting to talk to him about having further treatments. So Jamie saw what his brother went through. He doesn't want to do that, and it's breaking his father's heart. So you see Mr. Davenport, he throws the wine bottle when his son walks away. And I thought in that scene that maybe Mr. Davenport was just gonna break down and cry, and that Jamie got to see that. I think that's what the movie's missing a little bit of. Like, we're talking about, you know, what's going on, but you really need to feel it. You know, even though it's gonna make you cry, just like in Walk to Remember, or Me Before You. When you're showing these characters, when Emilia Clarke's character, I'm forgetting the name of the character, but when she's going up to Sam Claflin's character, and she's pouring out her heart, and you could feel this very, like, this real and raw emotion, like, it was just devastating. And every time I think about the scene, I really start crying, because I'm like, I can't imagine what, I can see what she's going through, but I just can't imagine it, and the pain that I feel. That, I think that's what you need in a film like this, in a story like this. It's gonna be painful. Later we see Anna gift a model car to Mr. Davenport, and there was a poem along with it, and basically just, you know, stating about how it's important to spend time, you know, with, you know, the ones that you love, and, you know, to cherish these moments. And so this allows Jamie and his father to connect, and they're building the model car together.
It's so beautiful.
Do I wish we could have seen that moment in, you know, the start of that conversation? I wish. I was like, what happened? How did they start building the car? And what are the things that, was the father, you know, apologizing? But we do see that, you know, at the birthday dinner. And as Mr. Davenport is breaking down that dinner, I just wanted them to have that moment. Maybe that's where they could cry together, and he's just holding on to his son, and you could just feel that at that table, and maybe people start welling up.
Get emotional thinking about it.
After the party, Anna's mom FaceTimes her. It's like, okay, so when are you coming home? And she's like, I don't think I'm coming home. Her mom's like, that wasn't the plan, and you gotta explain yourself. Anna does, and when her mom sees where she's sincerely coming from, she's very supportive of her. But Jamie hears that, you know, she's not going to Goldman Sachs and taking the job, and he's like, what? Like, you're doing this for us, for me? And he's just, you know, very upset by that. They have a fight. Now, for me, I think that Jamie should have fought for her because she fought for him. You see what I'm saying? So that it's reciprocal in the storytelling, because we see again Anna fighting for him. So, you know, you have to have some type of, like, balance within the story, either at the beginning that Jamie is fighting for her, and then that later, I was gonna say Anna fights for him. Like, there has to be, you know, a balance there of them both wanting to pursue this relationship, and they're, you know, committed to each other. I think that is what we needed, just like a little even balance. But when we see Anna fight for Jamie, they get back together and they have this beautiful, lovely night with one another. Sadly, Anna wakes up and she sees that Jamie is unresponsive. So she goes to the hospital with him. We see her there with Mr. and Mrs. Davenport, and the doctor tells him that Jamie is not doing well and that he needs treatment, like, immediately. And Mr. Davenport, hearing what his son Jamie has to say, like, he doesn't want any further treatment. He respects his wishes. He said, you know, talk with my son. This is up to him. And, you know, and they realize what they're preparing for what's to come. And it's just when I see Anna, Mr. and Mrs. Davenport holding on to each other, that okay, was very emotionally heartbreaking. They're just holding on to one another, and throughout this like terrifying, devastating experience. And later on we see Anna there with Jamie at his house, and Anna is there in a yellow sweater. So again, that motif coming up again, just like we saw with, you know, the song being Yellow by Coldplay, the yellow dress that she wears at the ball, the yellow scarf, and now the yellow sweater. And it is extremely sad, but she's there with him. They're talking about the trip that they would have taken and that he wants her to take, the trip around Europe. So we see flashes of them in these places. And this is what she's imagining, because at the end we see that she's there by herself.
I'm sorry I got this. I don't know what's wrong. So weird. Never happens to me.
That was, yeah, really emotional.
Let it out. Let it out, baby. Let it out.
Overall, the film was good. I just think there was just a little bit of improvement we could have had in certain scenes and certain moments, so you can allow the script to breathe, allow the emotions to, you know, feel real and tangible, so you can connect with the audience. But other than that, it was good. So if you're here for, like, you know, a sad but hopeful romantic dramedy, then I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this film, and I hope you have a comfy, cozy rest of your day.